Well, kids, in a recent study, they found out that those who bow down to the altar of the woke, grab both ankles, spread those cheeks for the cause,
Really hard.
tend to be unhappy, anxious, and depressed.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Captain Obvious, anyone?
You are correct, sir.
I'm Jazz Borganzo, and this. It's What's Next. Hey guys, Jazz Borganzo, What's Next, your daily dose. Hope you guys are feeling good today. Of course, this is Monday. New week. A shocking report has just come out. A study that has been long awaited for. What are we talking about here? Are we talking about the coof? Are we talking about the magical vaxes, the poison poke? Are we talking about World War III? Are we talking about Ukraine? Are we talking about the idiot in Canada? No. We're talking about finally, to quote The Rock, a study has came out that those who adhere to the woke, kiss the altar, kiss the ring, bend over, grab both ankles, spread both cheeks, are unhappy, anxious, and depressed. Excuse me, I'm feeling a little verklempt. I must go on. And here we go. This comes out of the Blaze. I could just end this right here because that's all you need to know. Study finds that woke people are more likely to be unhappy, anxious, and depressed. A new study revealed that people with so-called woke ideologies tend to be more unhappy, anxious, and depressed compared to actual normal people with normal lives who actually adhere to common sense and facts. The study, published by the Scandinavian Journal of Psychology last week, it took a Scandinavian report, not UK, Asia, America, Scandinavia. Okay. Found that individuals with attitudes geared towards critical social justice were less satisfied with their lives. The first study examined 848 adults, participants, 382 staff members, 266 students at University of Turku in southwestern Finland, as well as 64 staff and students from other Finnish universities, 2 from foreign universities, 134 not associated with the university. A second study included that 5,000 Finnish citizens aged 15 to 84. Wow, that's inclusive in the correct term. To determine the, quote, critical social justice attitude scale, the study inquired about 7 very progressive ideologies. 1. If white people have on average higher level of income than black people, it's because of racisms. 2. University reading lists should include fewer white and European authors. 3. Microaggressions. Wow, oh my gosh, I haven't heard that term in about, 7 or 8 years? Should be challenged often and actively. 4. Trans women, or transmentals, women who compete with women in sports are not helping women's rights. Quote, 5. We don't need to talk about more about the color of people's skin, do we? 6. A white person cannot understand how a black person feels equally as well as another black person. 7. A member of a privileged group can adopt features or cultural elements of a less privileged group. Study author Oskari Latinen, I apologize if I butcher the last name, a senior researcher at the Invest Research Flagship Center at the University of Turku, told the SciPost, the gender divide was probably the most surprising to me. 3 out of 5 women view woke ideas as positive, but only 1 out of 7 men. What does that tell you? Well, this was the case in Finland, at least. The research also found that female participants tend to be far more woke than their male counterparts. The study also noted overall male support for scale items was much lower than female. The study also found that women expressed more than twice as much support of the progressive ideologies. I hope they don't fall under the caring group. The research also found, regarding to the extent at which select subpopulations accepted, felt neutral about, or rejected scale items, people with other gender, Left Alliance voters, Green Party voters, and female social science students, yes, those social study degrees, accepted most scale propositions. Men and male medical students, is that the same thing? Anyway, rejected all but one scale item, and male humanities students and Finnish voters rejected all scale items. The study also discovered that people in STEM fields and conservative thinkers had lower agreements with the progressive beliefs. Gee, who wouldn't have seen that? The significant difference, in gender approval of the woke ideologies also carries on to overall happiness, according to the study. The study also revealed that those who embraced woke ideologies suffer from heightened instances of unhappiness, anxiety, and depression. Those who subscribed to the woke ideologies were reportedly suffered 67.9% higher anxiety, 32.5% higher for depression, and 4.5% higher for unhappiness. Doctor also said, I've been paying attention to a development in American universities where the new discourse on social justice became prevalent in the 2010s. While critical social justice or intersectional or woke discourse draws mainly from dynamics within American society, has now surfaced in other Western countries as well, he noted. The arrival of critical social justice, often called woke discourse, sparked much debate in Finnish media in the last couple years. This debate was also largely data-free and could be thus considered a worthwhile question to study how prevalent these attitudes are, he said. No reliable or valid instrument existed prior to the study to assess the extent and prevalence of these attitudes in different populations, so I set out to develop one. Good for you, dude. The author also added, the studies are quite robust, with a sample size of 5,000 and good psychometric properties. However, the scale would need to be validated in North America samples in order to know how these attitudes manifest there. I encourage colleagues in the United States to study the prevalence of these attitudes in the country where they originate from. My thoughts. 1, doctor, good luck with that, getting one done without bias in American universities or an American study. You know, I would love to see a Gallup, a Quinnipiac, a USA Today, one of the major polling companies come out and say, hey, you know what? We've been studying this the last 3 to 5 years, 5,000 to 6,000 people. Here's what we found. And it looks like it's on par with what they did in Finland. No, I don't see that happening anytime soon. 1, I'm kind of surprised it took this long for a study to come out on one, because I think anybody with common sense would have easily said, no need for a study. All you got to do is go on, I don't know, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X, and you'll see it there in living color every single day. Or they could have made it even easier and just called Shai Rychek of Libs of TikTok, and she would have just gave you the lowdown. But good for them. And it makes it very clear. It's Captain Obvious clear that those who subscribe to the wokeisms, who bow down to the altar of the wokeism and kiss the ring, are very, very unhappy people. And that's pathetic. But then those of us who are normal, who actually think with common sense, critical thinking, and use facts to back up what we say, are pretty well off. But that's just me. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share, subscribe to it. Appreciate you guys for everything that you guys do and watching and sharing it. Continue to do so. Help the show continue to grow. And we'll see you next time. Peace.